Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Mari. I'm one of the librarians at Portland Public Library in Portland, Maine, and I'm here today to read another picture book biography for Black History Month. Today I'm going to be reading When the Beat Was Born by DJ Kool Herc and the Creation of Hip Hop. This book is by Laban Carrick Hill and illustrated by Theodore Taylor III. You can see from here that it was the winner of the John Steptoe New Talent Award for Coretta Scott King the year that this was published. And this book was published by Roaring Brook Press. Clive loved music. It didn't matter what kind. Whether it was a wah-wah scat of a jiving trumpet, a sorrowful twang of a sad voice, or the belting boom of a gospel singer, little Clive loved the way the sound thumped and bumped all the way down to his stomach. He loved the way the music made his feet go hip, hip, hop, hippity hop. Little Clive lived in Kingston, Jamaica. His hero was a DJ named King George who threw the biggest and baddest house parties in the neighborhood of Somerset Lane. On Saturday nights, everybody who was anybody made their way to Somerset Lane for King George's hot dance parties. Little Clive was too young to go to the party, so he went to the house when King James and his friends were setting up during the day. They'd arrive pushing big old hand carts stacked with crates of records. Clive had never seen so many records. He imagined himself as a DJ, surrounded by all those records, choosing just the right song to get the party jamming. He saw himself toasting like a DJ, talking and singing over the instrumental B-sides of the records. Clive dreamed of everyone's feet going hip, hip, hop, hippity hop. Little Clive really wanted to be a DJ. When Clive was 13, he joined his mama in New York City. Clive wasn't sure he liked his new neighborhood in the Bronx. It was cold, he had to wear a silly winter hat with ear flaps, and everybody made fun of him. But one thing that Clive did find, besides music that made him feel like he belonged, was sports. He ran track and lifted weights. He played basketball at the neighborhood playground. Soon little Clive was no longer little. He had grown to 6'5". He called himself Coolest Clyde, after his favorite basketball player, Walt Clyde Frazier. But the kids on the basketball court took one look at his size and called him Hercules. Clive cut the name short to Herc and added cool to make it just right. Kool Herc. The best part of being big was that he could go with his mama to neighborhood house parties where he listened to the hottest tunes and danced like crazy. Clive loved these parties. They were just like the ones that he stood outside of in Somerset Lane. One day, Kool Herc's father bought him a monster sound system with giant 6-foot speakers. But when he hooked up the system, instead of a really big sound coming from the speakers, a little mumbling sound trickled out. Kool Herc spent days switching wires and plugging things into other things, till one day the sound was big. Not just big like Kool Herc, but big like an entire city block. Kool Herc and his little sister Cindy rented the rec room in their housing project on Sedgwick Avenue. They hand-wrote invitations telling everybody when and where to get their groove on. They posted cards around the neighborhood. They set up their father's sound system. And on the night of the party, everybody who was anybody made their way to Sedgwick Avenue for Kool Herc's hot dance party. That's when Kool Herc became DJ Kool Herc. Kool Herc noticed that dancers danced like crazy during the breaks in the songs when the lyrics ended and the music bumped and thumped. Herc knew that's what dancers wanted, so he plugged in 2 turntables instead of 1. He put the same record on both turntables and he set it up so that one record ended its break, he could flip it over to the other turntable and play it again. Doing this over and over again, he made a 10-second break last for 10, 15, even 20 seconds or more. Herc remembered the way that DJs in Jamaica would chant and toast over the music. He started calling out the friends of his name during the break. There goes my mellow Cookla Rock in the house. There goes my mellow Clark Kent in the house. There goes my mellow Timmy Tim in the house. There goes my mellow Bambata. Everybody loved hearing his or her name called out over the music. He'd compliment people on their dance moves. He'd talk about the music and send shout-outs. He'd make up little raps on the jump rope rhymes he'd heard on the playground. Or he would call, "Hey, Mike on the lights, make like a strobe." And Mike would flip the switch on and off. Over the next year, Herc took his parties to the streets and parks of the Bronx. He plugged in his sound system into the lamppost. They pulled so much power that the street lights dimmed, the perfect lighting for a street party. Kool Herc's music made everybody happy. Even the street gangs wanted to dance, not fight. Gangs like the Savage Skulls, the Glory Stompers, the Blue Diamonds, the Black Cats, and the Black Spades took turns breakdancing, and they performed some of the sickest moves. Herc called the coolest dancers break dancers or b-boys because they loved to dance the breaks. When Herc would finally find a really good break, he'd shout, "B-boys go down!" Then the break dancers would cut and jump their gymnastics. Hey, check this out! The top rock, the down rock, the turtle, the windmill, the one-handed handstand freeze. He gathered a crew of friends to rap behind his DJing. He invited Coke LaRock, a Jamaican friend, to rap. He called him his master of ceremonies, or MC. Coke knew about toasting it like Jamaican DJs. He was the first of Herc's crew of MCs called the Herculoids. Herc would introduce them with a rap. You rock and you don't stop, and this is the sounds of DJ Kool Herc, and the sound system you're listening to is what we call the Herculoids. Soon kids from all over New York City came to see DJ Kool Herc through the biggest and baddest parties on Sedgwick Avenue. African Bambata, Grandmaster Flash, Jazzy Jeff, and dozens of other all wanted to be DJs, just like Kool Herc. There's no story that can't be told, there's no horse that can't be rode, there's no bull that can't be stopped, and it ain't a disco we can't rock. Herc, who's the man with a master plan from the land of Gracie Grace? Herc. Herc didn't just rock his block, he put the hip hop, hippity hop into the world's heartbeat. Here's the author's note and a timeline of hip hop and DJ Kool Herc's life. There's also some select biographies that might be able to help you out learning more about hip hop, as well as film, DVD, and websites. I hope you enjoyed learning about DJ Kool Herc, the man who helped invent hip hop, and maybe you could try to listen to some fun hip hop yourself. Even if you think that you don't like the music, maybe you learn to like it, or maybe you already know all the best hip hop, but now you know where it started. Thanks for listening. My name is Sarah Mari. I'm one of the librarians at Portland Public Library in Portland, Maine, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.